Okay, so this is another Photoshop tutorial signature. Basically I'm just making it up as I go along, so you're going to have to bear with me. Start off with a canvas of 500 pixels width by 150 pixels height and click OK. Make sure you've got your render selected and drag it into your canvas by using the grab tool. Now once it's on your canvas and you've got it selected, press Ctrl and T to bring up the transform tools, and make sure you hold shift while you're moving it around to keep it in proportion. Duplicate your layer with the render on it and use your single line marquee to apply the changes, vertical one, and put it anywhere on your render. Just click anywhere and press Ctrl and T and just drag it left and right. You should get something similar to this. Apply the transformation by pressing any icons on the now you may as well just delete that black background that I've made, but I'll just leave it there anyway. Now go on to one of your brush layers that we made before and make sure it's visible. Yeah, that's my problem, make sure it's visible like that. And I'm using these brushes, they're called cracks brushes, I think, grunge style. I'm going to use black and white for my brushes. Now set them both to overlay, both of the layers. The layer where you've used black brush and the layer where you've used white brush. It should look something like that. Now when you've got one of your brush layers selected, go on to filter, blur, motion blur, and this will just, I think it just makes it a bit nicer, blurs it in a bit. Try and find a setting you like and click OK. Go on to your background layer and go into image, adjustments and colour balance. There it is. And just choose a nicer colour. You can leave it if you want, but I'm just going to try and make mine a bit nicer. Just mess around with it. If you're happy with it though, just leave it. Try again. Well, do your curves, go on image, adjustments, curves, and it'll just mess around with it and it'll make your image darker, while your background layer, just do something you like. That looks alright. Image, adjustments and colour balance, I'm just going to change mine. You can just completely mess about with all these settings and just try and find something you like. That's alright. Now go onto your render layer and duplicate it, either pressing Ctrl and J or right clicking it and clicking duplicate, and set the top layer to overlay. Make another duplicate of that layer and set that to overlay as well, so it'll make it a bit darker. Using your middle layer, go to blur, go to blur, motion blur, and try and find something you like. Okay. And on your bottom layer, again go to filter, blur, lens blur maybe. Let's just see how they look. And you can just mess around with all these settings again, because you never know what outcome you could get. Okay, I think that looks really nice so far. Now go on your top layer and duplicate it. Actually I'm not, I'm just going to delete that layer, that's fine with those three. On your bottom layer, go to filter, blur, and I'm going to try a motion blur. I'm just really just messing around with all my blur settings. Might just leave it. Yeah, it looks alright. Now I'm gonna go onto my top layer again. And make a new layer and go to edit, stroke, 3 pixels, black. Sorry. Make sure your new layer is selected and go to edit, stroke, 3 pixels, black. The reason it didn't work before is because my layer wasn't selected. Select it again, go to 2 pixels, white. I'm using my magic wand tool to select inside of each border. Edit, stroke, 1 pixels, black. And go on your magic wand tool. Hold shift while you're doing this to select both borders, only the top white and black one, and press Ctrl and X and it should disappear. And then press Ctrl and V to paste it, and it'll paste into a new layer. And select this new layer into overlay, and it'll look like that. Zoom out again. And now we're going to try and, I think we're going to blend the car in a bit more. So hide your top layer and your middle layer. So you've just got your bottom layer selected. We're going to try and use the smudge tool. Put the strength down a little bit so it doesn't really do much impact. And just try and smudge it around, give it more blurriness. I might have to put the strength up a bit. You just want to get a bit more blurred, try and push the image out a bit. Again, I'm just really just messing around with all the different things you can do. Go to filter blur, and I'm going to try a shape blur. I've never done this before. And I'm going to use the TM sign, the trademark sign. Looks quite funny. I'm not sure what this is, so I'm going to put it to about 700 odd pixels. Anyway, after I sorted that, I just clicked OK, and it came out like this. And because I set the top 2 renders as overlay, it's sort of made it a bit, the opacity down a bit, and you can see through the images, and it blends it in really, really good. So that looks really, really nice now. Just make a text, and I'm not actually sure what model this car is, so just put car. Bevel, emboss, contour, and I've put a stroke on and 1 pixel black. And the font I'm using was a free font. It's called Terminator. And that's about it. Thanks for watching my tutorial.